Hello and welcome back to the Not the Old Firm YouTube channel. My name is Ben Banks, here to look ahead to the last day of the League Cup. We're getting to the sort of final stages of this now after so many games in the group stages. An exciting last 16 round and now plenty of good ties to look forward to in the last day as a new winner of the competition awaits next year. So we hope you do enjoy. Remember to subscribe to the channel and like this video. 4 fixtures over the Tuesday and the Wednesday. On the Tuesday, it's Dunfermline versus St Johnstone, Alloa versus Hibs, and then on Wednesday night, Livingston versus Ross County and St Mirren versus Rangers. We'll look to the Tuesday fixtures first. Dunfermline v St Johnstone being the first of the fixtures we'll look ahead to, and before this one, we heard from Dunfermline manager Stevie Crawford and St Johnstone right back Danny McNamara.
I think our objective at the start of the tournament was to get out the group stages, and then from that, having won the group itself, you then go into the seeded section. And we went up and faced Arbroath in the last round, which was a very tough game, and come away with a very good victory. I went to Parkhead last week and watched St Johnstone play against Celtic, and I thought they were excellent on the day. They've been on a fantastic run of form themselves, and like ourselves, they faced defeat at the weekend there, so they'll be disappointed that run's come to an end, but hopefully it'll make for a good cup tie with a chance to get to the semi-final. I just think Callum will focus on his team, and likewise I've got to fully focus on job in hand with Dunfermline. I know Callum, I've played against him over the years. He obviously came in and helped us out here when he was in between jobs, and he was great to bounce things off in my early parts of my management career here. And I thought Callum was always going to be destined. I done my pro licence with him. He was always going to be destined to be a manager. So, as I say, it'll be good to go head to head. But we'll both be looking for a response, having faced defeat at the weekend.
Exactly. Yeah, we obviously had a good run. There's no reason why we can't do that again. So, as I said, starting Tuesday, we'll kick on again and obviously just play better than we did today. For me personally, no. So it'll be a good experience. So obviously going into the game Tuesday, it's a massive experience for me to obviously play at Hampden Park. So obviously the round after, so obviously Dunfermline will be decent. So we'll have to just take the game as it comes and hopefully try and get the win. Of course, everyone wants to play at Hampden Park, don't they? So that's a massive incentive for us as a team. And if that's not a big enough incentive, then I don't know what is. So going into Tuesday game, we've just got to take the game as it comes and try and get the win and go to Hampden Park. Obviously, you want to go as far as you can in the cup. Getting this far is obviously class, because obviously I've never been in a real cup competition where I've even got to this far. So it will be a great experience if we do get as far as the semi-finals. But we just got to take every game as it comes.
Dunfermline v St Johnstone, for me, it might. I think there's a good few ties in here, but for me, this is the one I'm most intrigued by. Dunfermline going very well at the top of the championship, albeit they get beat bizarrely by Morton, who that's another video for another day. St Johnstone also a good unbeaten run came to an end, so there's a bit of storylines here as well. Callum Davidson obviously used to work with Stevie Crawford as part of the Dunfermline coaching staff. And these two teams don't get to Hampden very often, so it's going to be a real sore one for either of these teams to lose.
Yes, it's a weird one, because it's definitely tied around in terms of kind of the most unpredictable one, I think. I think when you look at the other ones, you can probably take a bit of an educated guess how most of them will go. But when you look at the form of both these two sides, Dunfermline's been in fantastic form, excluding the Morton defeat, and the same goes for St Johnstone recently. They've been 11 games without defeat and the longest one as a Premiership club. So something's going to kind of have to give. And I certainly wouldn't be willing to bet against Dunfermline. They played some really, really good stuff this season. Stevie Crawford's got them playing really well. He's got them in a really good unit. I think you've seen it against Hearts when they played them a few weeks back. They're every bit as on their day. They're every bit as capable as most Premiership sides, I think. So it's certainly not going to be one where you would just chalk up and go, the Premiership team's going to Hampden, the Championship team's out.
Alloa versus Hibs is the other one on the Tuesday night. Obviously, one for Jack Ross. He started his managerial career there and has since been on a bit of a journey since then. But he's looking forward to going back to the Rex on a night where Hibs are going to be favourites to get through to the semi-final.
Certainly in terms of a new name being in as a winner, because they have dominated, as you said, for the last 4 years. Some good teams obviously still left in the competition, some strong teams, but I think we've said consistently that these cup competitions offer us that realistic chance of achieving success. And obviously with the disappointment to get out at the last 4 stages of last season's Scottish Cup, albeit fairly recently, but our progress in this tournament has been good to date, so it's another opportunity for us to progress further in the tournament to try and go and win it. I think when you get to semi-finals and finals and you fall short, it's painful and it does hurt. But like I said, in the aftermath of that, for the players, you have 2 choices. You keep putting yourself in those positions, or you just bob around and never get near it. And for us, it was certainly we want to put ourselves in the position to have success. Potentially, you feel that pain again. It happens in football, but if you don't put yourself into the chance of being in the last 4 and in the finals of the tournament, then you never get to experience it either way. So we've got a group, I think, that want to keep putting themselves in those positions and give themselves a chance of going those 1 or 2 steps further that they need to do to win a tournament.
So Alloa are obviously the part-time team here, and no matter who they play, they're going to be underdogs, but they might be slightly kicking themselves. They've never got a Dunfermline at home, whilst not going to be an easy task. It has certainly been easier than Hibs, who have been great on the road this season and are really hitting form.
Yeah, I mean, I've spoken really highly of Alloa in the past and kind of said about how well they tend to do at the Rex, especially in cup games. So there's a real potential for an upset here, but I think realistically speaking, Hibs should win this fairly comfortably. As you say, they've been in fantastic form in the Premiership. They're second in the table for a wee bit over the weekend there before Celtic's game against Kilmarnock. So they're certainly doing there, but whether Alloa can spring yet another shock in the cup, you never know. But I would be surprised, but it certainly isn't beyond the realms of possibility that Alloa complete the capital double and go Hearts 1 round, Hibs the next, and take them both out.
Yeah, I know I have a comparison to make back in mind watching. I mind being at BSC Glasgow, Hibs in February, which was at the Rex, and while Hibs eventually did win that fairly comfortably, certainly in the first half that was very, very even. Despite the fact one was middle of the table Lowland League and the other was pushing towards or trying to push towards the top 6 in the Premiership.
So the Rex is always a difficult place to go for anybody.
Jack Ross will know that. I mean, that's how he got his move to St Mirren and stuff. Was through that. So it'll be a good game to watch that, and that one's on Premier Sports as well. So that's one of the televised coverage. A good one for Alloa and Hibs fans that they need to pay £15 or they can't watch their team play in a quarter final on the telly.
At least we'll not get any salty tweets from a capital club's Twitter admin.
Well, not for us to decide. Livingston versus Ross County. That's what I mean. Both. I mean, imagine at the start of the season if you'd have said Livingston versus Ross County in a League Cup quarter or a domestic cup quarter final. That's no disrespect to the two of these teams. That's just probably more of a show of just how many shocks have happened in the League Cup this year. You haven't got your Aberdeens, Celtics, Hearts, the usuals at this sort of stage. There is a lot of new teams, which I think is why ties like this. I don't think, with the greatest of respect to both clubs, if you get Livingston in the Livingston Ross County in the Premiership on a Saturday afternoon, it's perhaps not everybody's first choice. But for a League Cup quarter final, it might take in a bit more interest.
Absolutely. It's one those two was predicted at the start of the season. I think when you look at both sides' form, though, it's very much going in one direction. I'd be very surprised if Livingston don't win this. Although County are very, very capable. We've seen it plenty of times before. We've seen it in the last round of the competition when they knocked Celtic out at Celtic Park. So Livy should go through it fairly comfortably, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah. and the other one is St Mirren versus Rangers. St Mirren on a good run of form, unbeaten in 9, but playing the favourites for this tournament now, and it should be said, very, very strong favourites the way they've been playing. This will be an extremely tough tie for Jim Goodwin's men, but he is looking forward to the cup tie, and he sees no reason why they can't cause a shock.
Well, look, I mean, we done really well against Aberdeen, back-to-back games where obviously we're big underdogs going into that particular game, and I think we could view the Rangers game in a similar kind of mode. You know, they're unbeaten. I think somebody said yesterday in about 27 games or something like that. They've been incredible domestically and also in Europe. So many teams have tried many different systems and formations against them, but at the moment, nobody's been able to stop them. So hopefully I can come up with some kind of plan between now and Wednesday that will give us the best chance possible of trying to get through to the next round. Yeah, I mean, look, that'd be great. It would be brilliant to get to the semi-final. It would be a great achievement for us. And, you know, the 2013 route to the final wasn't easy by any stretch. You know, we had to go to Pittodrie in the quarter-final. We had to beat Celtic in the semi-final, and then we had to beat Hearts in the final. So that was a pretty difficult run in itself. This is similar. You know, we knocked Aberdeen out in the last round. You're going to have to play the best teams at one point or another. Obviously, when the draw was made, I can't say I was overly pleased when I saw their name coming out. But at the same time, you know, you play them now or you play them in the final, you're going to have to beat them at one point or another if you're going to win the cup, aren't you? So let's bring it on and see what happens.
It's a weird one for St Mirren. They'll be great to play in a League Cup quarter-final and things like that, but given the run of form they're on as well, and given that obviously I think with the COVID stuff now, league safety is going to be the big thing for them, despite the fact I think they've got as good a squad as anybody sort of outside the top 4 in Scotland. You don't really want to be beaten 3 or 4-0 here, and then your confidence is knocked about after doing so well recently.
I think they probably get lucky a little bit more than that. It's a cup game, and because their season's been so disrupted, I don't necessarily think like one. I'm not even going to say one heavy defeat is going to kind of dent them, but I think they can go into almost any game just now and look at it as being a one-off, and it's not going to have a huge knock-on effect going down the line. I do think that St Mirren are on the hiding nothing here, and we've both spoke really highly of them and Jim Goodwin in the past, but it's Rangers were unbeaten in 27. They're wiping teams aside with relative ease just now, and it can be whether it's Falkirk or whether it's like Lech Poznan or Standard Liège or whoever. You know, there doesn't seem to be much variance in how Rangers are performing, so it's going to be a long night for the buddies, I think.
Yeah, but, if they were to do the unthinkable really in Scottish football just now, I know Ross County Celtic was a massive shock in the last round, but if St Mirren,
this would be a far bigger shock. Far bigger.
In terms of, I think that shock was more of a shock because of how dominant Celtic have been in domestic cup competition over the last few years, not so much their form in recent times. It was less of a shock, despite the fact it was still a massive shock, but not perhaps as big as it would be last season. St Mirren, the way Rangers are played this season, St Mirren, if they manage to win this, and given how relentless Rangers have been in their quest for trophies recently, albeit haven't got any yet, but they look good for one this season at least. So big test for them. But if they get through it, then I mean, for the other 3 teams that manage to get through, then that would just completely blow the competition wide open. So one to watch in Paisley, but it should be good. Looking forward to it. I'll be at St Mirren versus Rangers, and we will also have coverage of Livingston versus Ross County on the website, and fingers crossed, not confirmed as we record this, but hoping that possibly Dunfermline St Johnstone is a possibility for us as well. And we'll also have a bit of online coverage for Alloa Hibs. So we'll keep you up to date with the goings on in the League Cup. But that's all we've got time for on our preview, and we'll be back to review the action after all is said and done. We know what the last 4 will look like, but plenty more to come on the channel this weekend on our website. We've got Scottish Cup preview to come with 2 former Scottish Cup winners, so you don't want to miss that one if you're a Jambo. And we've got the Premiership previews and reviews as well, because we've still got a pretty full card of Premiership action this weekend as well. So thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, Take it easy.